I'm going to lay it all out for you, every raw, ugly, heartbreaking detail. And by the end of it, I need you to tell me, was I a monster or just another casualty in the war for attention? Because right now, sitting in this empty apartment that echoes with the ghosts of a love I destroyed, I honestly can't tell the difference. I traded genuine connection for ephemeral clicks, a soulmate for a subscriber count, and the bitter irony is, it all came crashing down anyway. My name is your name, if you want to use one, otherwise omit. And this is the story of how I lost Mischief Mikey, and in doing so lost every last piece of myself. It began 3 years ago. A whisper of ambition in the chaotic cacophony of online content creation. I wasn't born with a silver spoon or a viral video camera. I was just a girl with a dream, a worn-out tripod, and a desperate craving for validation that, in hindsight, was a gaping wound I tried to fill with likes and comments. My YouTube channel, a fledgling endeavor in the vast ocean of lifestyle vlogs and pranks, was my entire world. Every waking moment was consumed by analytics, by trending topics, by the relentless pursuit of that elusive next big thing. It was a slow burn, the kind that whispers doubts in your ear, questioning if you're good enough, if you'll ever truly break through. And then, like a comet streaking across my dull, digital sky, came Mikey. Everyone in our small, bustling city knew him. Not from TikTok, not from Instagram, but from the genuine, tangible joy he spread. He was Mischief Mikey, a living legend of local lore. He'd pay for a stranger's groceries with a handful of pennies, leaving a note that said, "For your next adventure." He'd tie balloons to bus stop benches with encouraging messages for weary commuters. He wasn't seeking fame, he was seeking smiles. He moved through the world with an effortless grace, a pure, unadulterated joy that was almost alien to my carefully curated existence. His laugh was a melody, his eyes, perpetually crinkling at the corners, held a depth of kindness I hadn't known existed. He was a beautiful mess, a whirlwind of genuine humanity in a world I felt increasingly disconnected from. Our first encounter was, naturally, quintessential Mikey. I was nursing a lukewarm latte in our local coffee shop, meticulously planning my next, relatable morning routine video, when a commotion erupted at the counter. There he was, a disheveled angel with a mischievous grin, attempting to pay for the next 50 customers' coffees using an overflowing bag of nickels. The barista, a woman typically immune to anything less than a full-blown celebrity sighting, was trying valiantly to keep a straight face. I, however, found myself utterly captivated, not by the spectacle, but by the sheer, unbridled joy radiating from him. He caught my eye, winked, and offered me a nickel. "For good luck," he murmured, his voice a warm rumble that sent an unexpected shiver down my spine. We talked for hours that day, oblivious to the world, to my phone, to the endless scroll of my digital life. He didn't ask about my subscriber count. He didn't care about my reach. He simply cared about me. For those initial blissful months, our relationship was a sacred space, a sanctuary away from the relentless glare of my camera lens. Mikey was the antidote to my digital addiction. He made me truly present. He'd whisk me away on these mischief dates, clandestine operations to brighten someone's day without a single thought of capturing it for content. We'd leave anonymous care packages for struggling families, plant surprise flower beds in neglected parks, or spend an entire afternoon writing encouraging chalk messages on sidewalks. He saw the beauty in the unseen, the magic in the ordinary, and through his eyes, I started to see it too. His energy was intoxicating, a pure, unadulterated zest for life that made me believe, for the first time in years, that the world wasn't just a bleak landscape of competitive online personas, but a vibrant tapestry of human connection. He taught me to put my phone down, to breathe, to truly live. He was falling in love with me, and I, against all my carefully constructed walls, was falling headfirst in love with him. But the siren song of the algorithm is a powerful, insidious thing. As my channel's growth stagnated, as the numbers flickered and plateaued, the pressure mounted, an invisible weight pressing down on my chest. I started to see Mikey not just as my boyfriend, my refuge, but as a potential goldmine of content. His genuine charisma, his effortless charm, his utterly unique approach to life. It was all screaming viral sensation. I started small, subtly incorporating him into my vlogs. A candid shot of him laughing, a quick clip of him helping an elderly woman cross the street, his infectious grin lighting up the frame. The reaction was immediate, explosive. My comments section erupted. "Who is this mystery Mikey? He's adorable. We need more of him." My view counts, once stagnant, were now soaring, propelled by the authentic, heartwarming energy he radiated. And I, blinded by the sudden surge of validation, felt a familiar, dangerous hunger awaken within me. Mikey, bless his pure heart, didn't initially object. He'd shrug, his eyes crinkling in that familiar, endearing way. "If it makes you happy, love, I'm happy," he'd say, completely oblivious to the insidious shift taking place within my own heart. He didn't understand the relentless pursuit of views, the intoxicating allure of viral fame. He simply loved me. But slowly, imperceptibly at first, I began to push. I'd ask him to redo a joke because the lighting was off, or to exaggerate a reaction for the camera. Our Mischief dates transformed into carefully orchestrated content opportunities. The genuine spontaneity that had once defined our connection began to wither under the harsh glare of my ring light. I stopped seeing him as Mikey, my beloved, and started seeing him as Mischief Mikey, my channel's biggest asset. Every moment became a potential shot, every conversation a possible soundbite. Our intimate dinners became uncomfortable performances, my phone propped up, recording every shared glance, every whispered confession. The sacred space we had built was slowly, systematically, being dismantled, brick by brick, by my insatiable need for content. He began to retreat. The vibrant spark in his eyes dimmed. His laughter, once so free, became constrained, almost performative. He would flinch when I pulled out my camera, a subtle shift in his posture that I, in my tunnel vision, chose to ignore. The genuine mischief that once flowed from his soul was now being dictated by my script, my desire for virality. One evening, as we sat on the couch, the silence between us heavy with unspoken truths, he finally broke. "I miss us," he whispered, his voice raw with a pain that pierced through my carefully constructed armor. "I feel like a character in your show, not your partner. I'm falling in love with you. But I don't know if you're falling in love with me, or with the engagement I bring to your channel." His words were a punch to the gut, a cold, hard dose of reality that momentarily shattered my delusion. I promised him, tears streaming down my face, that I would change. I would put the camera down. I would prioritize us. But then the phone rang. It was my manager, her voice buzzing with excitement. A major brand, a dream sponsor, wanted to collaborate. The catch? They wanted Mischief Mikey front and center. The offer was astronomical, life-changing money. The kind of money that could finally validate all those years of grinding, all those sleepless nights. Just one more big one. I told myself, clutching my phone like a lifeline. One more massive hit, and then we'll go back to normal. We'll use this money to build our future. The brand wanted something impactful, something that would generate buzz, a big reveal. And in my warped, fame-addled mind, the idea began to fester. A fake breakup prank. It would be the ultimate viral sensation, an emotional roller coaster that would garner millions of views, propelling my channel into the stratosphere. I convinced myself it was a stroke of genius, a temporary deception for a permanent reward. I set up hidden cameras around our apartment, meticulously choreographing every angle, every shot. I planned to deliver the most devastating, cruel words imaginable, to make him believe I had used him, that I never truly loved him. And then, at the peak of his heartbreak, I would yell surprise, reveal the brand deal, and we would laugh, knowing it was all for the content. It was a monstrous plan, born from a desperate, decaying ambition, but I was too far gone to see it. The day he came home, my heart was a frantic drum against my ribs. He looked utterly exhausted, but there was a serene, almost radiant peace in his eyes. He'd spent the morning volunteering at a local animal shelter, cradling abandoned puppies, doing good purely for the sake of it. A stark, brutal contrast to the calculated cruelty I was about to unleash. I swallowed hard, clicked record on the hidden remote, and began to tear down the world we had built. My voice, brittle and cold, spewed venom I barely recognized as my own. "Mikey," I started. "This isn't working. Your mischief is getting old." My fans are tired of seeing you. You're just boring now. The words tasted like ash in my mouth, but I forced them out, watching his face crumple, a flicker of bewildered pain in his beautiful eyes. I used you, I continued, twisting the knife deeper. You were good for my numbers, a stepping stone. I never actually loved you. It was all for the views. The lie felt like a physical blow, a parasitic entity consuming my soul. He didn't yell. He didn't rage. He just stood there, his shoulders slumping, and then slowly, silently, tears began to track paths down his cheeks, each one a searing brand on my conscience. He looked at me, his eyes wide with a pain so profound it almost buckled my knees. I knew it, he whispered, his voice barely audible, a broken melody. I felt it, but I didn't want to believe it. I loved you, your name. More than anything. And you're telling me I'm just a number on a screen. He didn't wait for my answer. He simply turned, grabbed his keys from the bowl by the door, and walked out. The click of the lock was the loudest sound I had ever heard. I sat there on the couch, the hidden camera still whirring, recording the agonizing silence, the echoing emptiness, the sound of my own heart shattering into a million irreparable pieces. 10 minutes. 10 agonizing minutes stretched into an eternity. He was gone. The love of my life, the purest soul I had ever known, believed I was a cruel, manipulative monster. And I had the footage. The perfect, gut-wrenching, viral footage. So here I was at the precipice. On one side, the potential for millions of views, the validation I had craved for so long, the success that had consumed my every thought. On the other, the crumpled, broken remains of a love I had ruthlessly sacrificed. I had the power to delete the footage, to run after him, to beg for forgiveness, to try and salvage what little was left. Or I could push the button, upload the video, and claim my prize. My career, my dreams, my perceived future, it all hinged on this one moment. I had created the perfect emotional hook, the ultimate clickbait. But at what cost? Before I reveal the choice I made, the one that irrevocably altered the trajectory of my life, and plunged me into a darkness I'm still struggling to escape, I need you to pause. Look deep inside yourself. If you were standing where I stood, your entire future seemingly hanging in the balance, your heart torn between genuine connection and fleeting fame, what would you have done? Would you have clicked upload? Would you have run after him? Tell me truly, what choice would you have made? I chose the views. I know. The words feel like a brand on my tongue, a testament to my own moral depravity. But in that moment, the adrenaline was a raging current, the fear of failure a suffocating blanket. The years of striving, the desperate yearning for recognition, it all converged into a single, irresistible force. I convinced myself that once the video went viral, once the millions of eyes were on me, I could explain it to Mikey. I could show him the brand deal, the triumph, and he would understand. He would see it as a masterpiece of content, a calculated risk for a greater reward. My delusion was absolute. With shaking hands, tears blurring my vision, I edited the footage. I layered it with heart-wrenching music, added slow-motion close-ups of his tear-streaked face, meticulously crafting a narrative of betrayal that would gut my audience. I typed out the title, The End of Mischief, Mikey. And then with a final shuddering breath, I hit publish. The response was immediate, overwhelming, and utterly devastating. Within an hour, the video was trending, a wildfire of emotion sweeping across the internet. My phone vibrated incessantly, a relentless assault of notifications. Messages poured in, some calling me a genius, a brilliant content creator, others a cruel, manipulative monster. But the numbers. Oh, the numbers. They soared higher than I had ever dared to dream. Each digit a fleeting validation, a hollow echo of the love I had just incinerated. But Mikey didn't call. He didn't text. I went to his apartment, pounding on the door until my knuckles ached, but it remained stubbornly closed. I sent him the link to the video, begging him to watch until the end, to see the reveal, to understand it was all a prank. But it was too late. He had already blocked me. From everything. 2 days later, a different video surfaced. Not on my channel, but on a smaller, local news outlet's page. It was raw, unedited footage, shaky and heartbreakingly real. Mikey, Sitting alone on a park bench, his shoulders hunched, his eyes empty, stripped bare of all his vibrant mischief. He spoke softly, his voice devoid of its usual melodic joy. He said he was leaving the city, severing all his digital ties. He couldn't live in a world where love was just a hook, where genuine connection was merely content. He didn't mention my name, but he didn't have to. Everyone knew. The internet, a beast I had once thought I controlled, turned on me with a vengeance. The backlash was instantaneous, brutal, and completely deserved. My fans became my fiercest critics, their praise morphing into vitriol overnight. I was cancelled in the most public, humiliating way imaginable. The dream brand deal evaporated, pulled the moment the story broke. My subscriber count, once a source of pride, plummeted by hundreds of thousands, a digital avalanche wiping away years of effort. I had traded the only real, tangible thing in my life for a viral moment that, in the end, destroyed not just my relationship, but my entire career. The aftermath was a lonely, echoing hell. The apartment, once filled with Mikey's laughter and the joyful chaos of his latest mischief, became a tomb. I lost the sponsorships, the opportunities, the semblance of a career I had so desperately chased. But the material losses were nothing compared to the gaping chasm left by Mikey's absence. I heard from a mutual friend, a whisper of news carried on the wind, that he had moved far away, to a small, quiet town nestled in the mountains up north. He works in a library now, surrounded by stories that are real, tangible, untainted by algorithms. He doesn't use a smartphone, doesn't engage with social media. He went back to being the person he always was, doing good things just because they're good, without any cameras to witness or validate his kindness. And I am left with a hard drive full of ghost memories, videos of a past I can't bear to watch, images of a love I so carelessly shattered. I tried to make an apology video, a heartfelt plea for forgiveness, but the words felt hollow, inadequate. How do you apologize for commodifying a soulmate, for turning genuine affection into a meticulously crafted segment? The truth is, I realized too late that the mischief Mikey brought into the world was real, authentic, pure. But the person I had become, the person I saw reflected in those cruel videos, was a complete and utter fraud. I spent so much time trying to capture the perfect life for the camera that I completely forgot how to actually live one. I tie up these loose ends now, not for views, not for validation, but as a catharsis, a desperate attempt to grapple with the enormity of my mistakes. I am no longer a YouTuber. The channel is gone, deleted, a ghost in the digital ether. I work a regular job now, one that doesn't involve cameras or comment sections. And every weekend, I try to do my own small, anonymous acts of kindness, leaving little notes of encouragement on park benches, paying for a stranger's coffee, hoping that somehow, somewhere, that ripple of positive energy might find its way back to him. A silent plea for a forgiveness I may never receive. I don't know if he'll ever forgive me, and honestly, looking at the wreckage of my life, I don't know if I'll ever forgive myself. The moral of this devastating mess, if there is one, is this. Some things are simply too sacred to be content. If you are lucky enough to find someone who loves you for who you are, truly, genuinely, when all the lights are off and the cameras are put away, don't ever sacrifice that for a fleeting like or an ephemeral share. It's a debt you can never repay, a hole that can never be filled by the hollow praise of strangers. I learned that lesson the hard way, and it cost me everything. So tell me, was it worth it? Was the potential for viral fame worth losing the only person who ever truly saw me, truly loved me? Like this video if you think I got what I deserved, if you think my karmic comeuppance was just. Subscribe if you want to hear more raw, unfiltered stories about the treacherous tightrope walk of online life, and the irreversible mistakes we make when we chase the wrong kind of spotlight. And most importantly, share your final, honest thoughts on this whole devastating mess in the comments section below. Did I lose Mikey the very moment I started vlogging our private life, or was it the ultimate betrayal of the prank that sealed my fate? I'll see you all, in the quiet, in the next story.